Okay, we're going to assemble the rows together for ripple effect. So I have my 2 rows. There's really no, you're going to come into issues one way or the other because you can't always have your concave piece on top, which is the easiest way to sew it. So I'm going to put this piece on top only because I have 2 full pieces that are concave, so I find it, at least then I get that advantage as opposed to just 1 full piece that's concave here. So hopefully you can still see your center points from when you press the blocks when you're piecing the rows. If not, you just need enough to find it so you can just finger press. That's fine. But I do find I need the center points. So you can pre-pin everything, or you can just pin the next midpoint as you stitch it together. So you'll just make those perpendicular so you have a nice flat edge here. And then you want to, the one thing that's matching in this quilt are these corners. So you want these to match like a 4-patch would. So to do that, we have our seams opposing if you press them to the side. So just you want those at a nice 90-degree angle to the side or perpendicular to this cut edge. Nestle them and put a pin in.
Just like normal piecing.
Just like normal piecing. And if you want, you can go ahead and pin the beginning of it as well.
I would do that. I overpin probably.
And then on these sides, just like before, I really want to make sure this is going to be flat when I press it open. So I would go ahead and put in an extra pin here. Talk about overpinning.
Just for stability.
But
no, I do that
to make
too.
Sure that stays in
I do
place.
that in a lot of situations.
Yeah. And then if you want, you can come down here. So this will be really wonky if you do all the pinning, which is why I tend to go pin as I go. And then you're going to kind of want to have the feeling like, oh, this is the one that goes here. But no, it's got to be between the blocks. This little accent piece should never be involved in this matchup. So it's going to seem kind of odd sometimes. It'll all work out. So same thing, just nestle the
just
seams.
Be careful and pay attention as you go.
Right.
Because that is something I would lose track of. Get it sewn and be like, oh no.
Oh no, I gotta unsew that. Oh, and then here, I'm not as good about pressing my side pieces because I didn't need the center point marked. No, that's not gonna help. Wrong side. Okay, let me match this up again.
Good old finger pressing.
That's right, it works when it needs to. Kind of. There we go.
A lot of fluffing and folding.
Yeah, the rearranging. Yeah, again, this is why I do it as I go, just because I feel like this to me kind of is overwhelming. But you have it all done, so that will save you time at the sewing machine.
Right. It's the old adage. You save time now or save time later.
You're going to do the work at some
right.
point. And then got my fold here.
I guess it depends on what your pain point is. If you don't like to pin, you do it the other way.
Right.
If
And you know me.
If you don't mind pinning, you do it this way.
Yep. I say the one advantage, I guess, to pinning at this point is if you don't have your center point marked, it's easier to take care of it while it's laying out on your cutting mat than when half of it's in your lap with the machine. So I'll give you that.
Okay.
And then this last one. And then again, because I've got this at the end and I want this to be straight, I'm just going to go ahead and put a second pin on here.
I like when you're not offsetting those ends.
Oh yeah, it's nice when they're just coming in all together.
Yep.
Okay, let's go to the machine. Okay. All right, so we're all done sewing. You can see where these come together and form hopefully a nice 4-patch. And then you're just going to press the seams open on this one. So what I do is I tend to press one side a little bit just to kind of get that seam opened. And I normally have a flatter spray with me, and I'll just put a little spritz on this accent piece and that accent piece, because I know that's not going to want to play well. Jennifer is a little trip, but Jennifer got it. Okay, so I'll just put a little spritz here. Oops. And there. And I don't do the whole scene because I don't, you know, otherwise it gets a little too difficult to manage, but just on those where you have all those layers and it's not going to want to play nicely. And then I'm trying not to stretch it, but I'm trying to get that seam accessible. I'm going to get used to that. There we go. So I would just continue doing that all the way down, and then just get all your rows assembled and you're done. And sometimes I want a little